That's it. We're ready. How are you, dude?
I'm doing, you know what? I can't complain.
Is there a single episode that I haven't started by saying, how are you, dude? I think that's
I don't think so. But you know what? That's okay. I don't know. Yeah, I've just been super busy with school and all that, so can't complain.
Same. It's been crazy. It's been a crazy time. The last time we recorded was in December, and the last time we recorded before that was in October. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, geez, that is a long time.
It's been a bit.
We are not good podcast hosts.
No, we're not. And on top of that, the last episode that we recorded in December is going to get uploaded in January because I just never edited it.
Yeah.
The episode in which we talk about the album I released the week before recording it.
Yeah.
Yeah, how have you been? What you been up to? I've been up to 800 different things.
Honestly, a little bit same. I finished a big project at work.
Ooh.
I coded up a way to automatically sort which books were not in the right order. Pretty proud of that one.
That's
Took
cool.
me a long time to figure out how to do that because there's a lot of human error that you have to account for.
Mm-hmm.
Because cataloging makes a lot of mistakes. But other than that, I've been up to school. I've been up to I started designing an automatic BB launcher.
An automatic BB launcher? Like a gun?
Yeah. Okay, yes, but not a gun.
Sounds like a gun.
It's like a BB gun.
If
So
it
it's
shoots
different.
projectiles automatically, that's an automatic weapon.
Yes, except it's a BB automatic weapon.
Oh, that's fine. That's totally fine. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. No, I mean, I know. I just think it's funny. So yeah, I've been doing that. I think that'll probably look good on my resume or something.
That's super cool.
Yeah.
What language are you writing that in?
Writing what?
The code. You said you wrote a program?
Oh, that was in Python.
Oh yeah, I realized that we then were talking about a gun, and then I just was thinking about the code again. What language did you write your gun in?
That I would probably write and see if it needs any code, but honestly, it'll probably just end up being a button that tells a motor to go burr.
Oh my gosh. I just turned on a game and the sound is really loud. So
Also,
I couldn't talk for a second.
You know how I'm a holotypic occlupenid enjoyer?
Yeah, you are. Yeah. Do you have a holotypic occlupenid? Do you have an update for all the fans at home?
A little bit of an update. So
Okay.
the video isn't done yet because been busy and
it's
stuff
hard.
trying
Takes
to
time.
graduate.
Yeah.
But my fiance's mother texts me every once in a while and is like, "Hey, I found this holotypic occlupenid. Should I keep it for you?"
That's
And every
so
time I'm like,
awesome.
"Absolutely, yes, please."
Oh my gosh,
And it's
that's so
it's
cool.
my favorite thing. Because I was honestly when I met her and she was like, "Oh, what do you like to do? What are something interesting that you've been doing lately?" I was honestly scared to tell her parents. But I was like, "Oh, I think holotypic occlupenids are cool. Little
That's
bread
so
tags."
funny.
But it turns out that they were like, "Oh, that's actually really interesting. Look at that." now she sends me holotypic agglutinids.
That is the best thing I've ever heard. That's
Yeah.
so cool.
It's very cool.
That's so funny. That's so cool. So, I mean, how much diversity is there in the samples that she sends? Because at least my experience as a not really just like my day-to-day associations with holotypic agglutinids, they're basically always the same kind. And then I was introduced to that website, and it's there's a whole new world of types.
A lot of them, especially in America, are from the Spheropanus group.
Yeah.
But if you go out into other countries and even different parts of the U.S., you'll see all sorts of different kinds, and there are subtle differences between them. At first glance, a lot of them look really, really similar. But if you start looking at the measurements between their palps and their extrusions, yeah, then there's There's quite a few differences.
Oh
Yeah.
man, this podcast, we have now reached the point where we have continuity, we have lore. Okay, can't listen to episode 12 until you've listened to like episode 9 or whatever that was, because
The
it
Occlupited
builds off each
Files.
other. Yo, speaking of the Occlupited Files, or just something similar to that, I started listening to a podcast this last week called the Magnus Archives.
I freaking love the Magnus Archives.
You know the Magnus
Those are-
Archives?
Dude, they're so good.
Dang. So what's
I listened to the entire thing over the summer while I was
Wow.
working.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I've heard of the Magnus Archives before. Like, I've seen it around. I've seen content for it, and I never quite understood what
Yeah.
it was. And
So good.
like it's a horror anthology podcast, right? And
Yeah.
but whenever I would see content about it, it certainly didn't look like a horror anthology podcast. It looked like a lore podcast, you know? Because like the stuff that people are going to
Yeah.
make like animations or whatever about are going to be like lore moments and like actual character interactions and stuff. So I was like, you know
Yeah.
what? I'm going to give this podcast a chance. And I listened to episode 1 and 2 and 3 and or whatever. And I'm like, okay, so far all I've got is a really interesting framing device in the like this person, Jonathan Sims, recording accounts of supernatural paranormal events onto
Yeah.
a tape recorder, and it's like, okay, cool, these are nice spooky little stories, but where's the lore? And so because I was impatient and I wanted the lore, I like read half the wiki, and which like, okay, so I've definitely like spoiled stuff for myself, but
Yeah.
like going like the thing that is the most interesting about the show to me is the entities, the fears, how I'm like, I don't really know anything about them yet. I just know that they exist because every time I listen to an episode, I go and read the wiki page on it, and I read like the spoilers continuity part of it, which is really, really cool because it talks about it, because that'll always be like, oh yeah, so this episode, this is probably one of these like fears, one of these like supernatural otherworldly beings. This is probably the one that's at play. This is why. And the other thing that's really, really crazy to see from reading the wiki and spoiling things for myself is that like things there, it certainly appears like there are an absurd number of callbacks and references and things coming back, because it's like
100%.
it's like it definitely sounds like, you know, listening to the first dozen episodes, I'm on episode like 17, right? So I've listened to a little bit, and it's pretty much just a horror anthology podcast, these little spooky short stories that are fun and cool and really interesting concepts. But then like reading the wiki, and it's like, oh yeah, the weird thing that was going on in this episode comes back 50 episodes later. Like,
oh yeah,
every single time.
There's
Like,
so many callbacks and continuity and all that stuff.
And so
It's kind of incredible.
Part of me is like glad that I'm reading the wiki so religiously, because like there's no freaking way I would remember like the name of the person who gave this one statement about something weird that happened to them, who then comes back as a reoccurring character. Like, I would never freaking remember that crap. But it also motivates me to keep listening, because it's like, oh wow, I know this will come back sometime. I want to keep it anyway.
Honestly, I kind of started to like learn their names and stuff and start to piece it together. It took me a while, but it is possible.
I'll totally agree. I mean, I'm sure that's how everybody had to experience it when it came out week by week. So like, I'm sure that it's a great experience. It's a great experience that I've utterly ruined for myself, but I'm having a great time listening to it with
It's so good.
like extra knowledge, you know.
The thing that really got me into it is I really like the concept of a guy who's like in charge of a supernatural library or whatever, and it's just reading people's experiences with the supernatural.
It's freaking brilliant.
That's
It's such a
fascinating concept.
It's such a good framing device. Like, because it means that you can write a ton of vastly different stories, and and like, it doesn't matter that you only have one narrator. You know, like, I know that they get more voice actors later, But it's like, until then, there is no. Also, the other thing, I'm also a huge sucker for stories where like the medium that you are reading or listening to the story in itself like has sort of like a diegetic explanation for why it exists. Like the recordings that we are listening to, that is the podcast, are in canon recordings, you know?
Yeah,
And that's
they're actual cassettes.
yeah, and that's really really cool. That's also a cool concept. So like even from the very beginning when it's like, okay, like I don't actually like know, even at the beginning when it's just like it's a horror anthology podcast,
Yeah,
it's still really it's still like a really cool concept that like there's this like continuity to it, and that there's like the recordings that you're listening to like exist in canon. It's just super cool.
yeah,
I
yeah.
al-
Oh man, I'm very happy that you're listening to that. It's one of my favorite pieces of media.
I've been having a very good time with it. Yeah. I just really want to get to episode like freaking 60 or 80 or whatever it freaking is when
Yeah.
they finally introduce like the fears, the entities, or they finally
It
even start
starts to
talking
get
about them.
there are many webs involved when they get there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And for anybody who's listened to the Magnus Archives, haha, funny joke, right?
Oh, I know that one of the entities is called the web, if that's the joke you were making.
Oh yeah, it was. Sorry.
Yeah. It's also funny. It also reveals a funny thing about myself because like
Yeah.
I don't know when I realized this about myself, but I realized a couple years ago. I feel like I've been like a pretty squeamish person for like most of my life, and then
Yeah.
at some point I just like stumbled upon too much gross, scary stuff, and then I just got
Too much like body horror.
I got like blue pilled. I really like body horror stories. Like I think they're really interesting,
I
right?
hate them.
And so every time like I listen to an episode and like every so often I like scroll down to the bottom and read the like what entity is involved, and I'm like, okay, fine. It's a it's a spiral episode. That's cool. Okay, fine. It's like, oh, it's a Fletch episode. Let's freaking go. Like I'm in for some gross stuff. Let's go.
It gets nasty.
Ugh. Yeah, anyway, I'm having a great time.
Oh yeah, it's so good. I still think about that podcast sometimes. I'm just like, man, that was fun. That was a good romp through 8-hour work days.
Yeah. I'm still in season 1, I guess. Because I'm on episode 17.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, I've been having a good time. Been having a good time listening to that. It's fun.
Heck yeah.
Actually, the way that speaking of freaking body horror, the way that I guess the first way I was introduced to the Magnus Archives is like a year or two ago, a while ago, I stumbled upon one episode of it. But it wasn't, I learned now that it wasn't actually a Magnus Archives episode. It was a Rusty Fears episode, which is the writing contests, like for the fans to like write and submit stories. And the one that I heard several years ago was about a guy who like whenever he gets anxious, like randomly like teeth grow somewhere on his body, and it's super gross.
I've heard that one.
It's super gross and freaky, and I guess it stuck with me for a long time because like last week or like a week ago I was like, I wonder if I can find that again, and I was like, oh, it's like not actually canon and there's a bunch more, so let me listen to that instead.
And now you're here.
And now I'm here, 17 episodes
a changed man
yeah,
with more teeth.
having a good time.
An unhealthy fear of dentists.
Dentists, I'm not afraid of dentists. Dentists are just annoying. Like going to the dentist is just really uncomfortable. You just have to sit there.
Just be uncomfortable.
When I was a little kid, our dentist had like a TV up like suspended over the chair. And maybe it was just like one or two chairs that they had for kids, right?
Yeah.
That TV isn't there anymore because I have this distinct memory of going to the dentist as a little kid and watching Open Season.
Yeah.
And like
Only the best media.
I don't care if I'm an adult. I'm an iPad kid at heart. I would just want to
Yeah.
watch YouTube videos. I want to watch TV while you have your hands in my mouth because I've got nothing else to do. It's just boring.
And it's unfortunate that it's like not acceptable to just be like put your headphones in while you're at the dentist.
Yeah.
Because like I totally would. If that was a thing I could do.
They just want to make
What
small
else am I
chat
gonna
with
do
you.
at the dentist when I'm just not having a good time with somebody's fingers in my mouth?
There's also the meme of like you go to the dentist and the hygienist is in there for like 20 minutes, however long it takes to clean your teeth and stuff, and then they call in the dentist who like looks in, poke, oh, looks good, and like leaves, like that's it. That's like
Yeah, no, literally, that's what it's like. They spend half an hour cleaning your teeth, and they call them the dentist, and they're like, "Best mouth I've ever seen." Bye.
And it's like, do you work here? Do you do anything? Like, I'm sure you do like surgeries or
the nurse
like.
already told me that my teeth look great, and then they cleaned everything, and all you did was spend about 2 seconds putting your thumbs on my molars, and then you left.
Yeah.
Anyways, dentists, they make a lot of money.
They make a ton of money.
I watched this really funny video about healthcare. I think it was by RBG.
RBG, never heard of them. Okay.
BRG, the By My Bed guy.
Oh, BDG.
BDG,
Yeah. Brian David Gilbert. He has a big video about like it's specifically about like the what's the word I'm thinking of? Acronyms.
But like the convoluted terms, right?
The terminology of the U.S. healthcare system and how like super hyper convoluted it is.
One of my favorite bits from that video was when he was like, "Now, billions of dollars have been spent and years, decades spent researching the human body to decide what the best healthcare is for you, and they've discovered one thing: that teeth and eyes are not, in fact, a part of the human body." Because you have to get like separate insurance. It was very funny.
Yeah.
And
then I've definitely seen plenty of like Reddit posts or whatever from like Europeans who talk about stuff like that, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, Americans live in an actual dystopia."
And it's not that bad, but it's also pretty bad. Like there are definitely worse places to be.
Yeah, you could be in a place with like no healthcare. I don't know.
Yeah, like I don't know. Eritrea. Do they have healthcare?
Like Antarctica.
Yeah, well they have scientists there, so somebody's probably a doctor.
Or it's like maybe it's like a space station thing where like everyone is a doctor. Everyone has medical training.
Oh yeah, so like then everybody's like they fail because they're all like, "No, I'm right."
No, it's so if Matt Damon gets left behind on Mars, he can like stitch himself up. That's the real reason. That's the reason NASA doesn't tell you.
It's in case somebody needs to perform an emergency appendectomy on themselves.
But only like if they're abandoned on Mars, like if they're the only one there.
Right. Otherwise, no point.
You. Oh, yo, you want to know something wild and pretty cool that I did this week? That happened this week.
Yes.
I participated in a Scythe tournament, the board game Scythe.
Really?
Yeah. So there's a digital version of Scythe. It's on Steam, right? And there's probably not very big actually. There is a small competitive scene for Scythe. Like online. And there's this YouTuber I follow who is literally like basically like the face of competitive Scythe, because he's like the only person putting out like consistent competitive Scythe content, and he has a ton of videos about like openings for different different factions and stuff, and also he'll just like stream tournaments and stuff. It's pretty cool. I think I saw it like in his YouTube channel that they like. Anyway, there was a Scythe tournament going on. They do one every so often. I don't know how often. And I was like, you know what? Like, I'm just gonna enter. Why not? And on the there was like a Google Forms where it was like, okay, cool, like give us your like Steam username and stuff, right? And and uh sorry, I'm playing Balatro and I just got the most cracked combo. Anyway,
I don't even know what that is. What is Balatro?
it's that poker roguelike game.
That's right. You were telling me about that. It sounded epic.
It's actually coming out. It comes out in like 3 weeks.
Hey,
So it's
okay.
finally going to come out. Anyway, so this tournament, I entered into this tournament, and it was they said like also on this Google form there was like, hey, like what is your online ELO, and also just like how many online games have you ever played, and I'm like zero. And then like in the Discord, there's like a Discord channel for it. They were like, if there's enough interest, we will have like a novice bracket. And
Hey, okay.
so I got thrown in the novice bracket and played. So I got put into a group of 4 and we played 2 games, and I actually won the first game. It was super cool. I was super proud of myself. And then the second game I got last place. So I don't know if it's like combined score. It's probably like combined score to see who advances. So I did not get a good combined score because I won the first game, but the second game I did horrific. But anyway, it was super fun. I played competitive Scythe one night this week.
Heck yeah. And you won.
I did actually win the first game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So are you like, does that make you like a professional Scythe player now?
I did not earn money for doing it, so I don't believe so.
But you competed. Okay, so it does make you
I
amateur.
didn't compete for money though. I mean,
Yes.
everyone is technically an amateur Scythe player. Okay,
No.
I guess that's not true.
If you haven't actually competed, then you're just a novice. Is that how that works?
I guess, yeah.
I think that's how that works, right? Like you're an amateur once you enter competitions.
I feel like amateur just means not professional, and novice is like a kind of amateur.
Maybe novice is like amateur, but you're bad at the game.
I mean, that is like novice does connotate like lack of skill and experience, right? So it probably means you kind of suck.
Which is pretty epic, if I do say so myself. Because people who are bad at games make me look better by default, and I am down for that.
Yeah, it was funny. The first so they the way that they do it is there were like 4 factions available of the 7. Like there were 4 combinations that they just chose, and then you had to draft them. And they actually have an interesting bid system because like not every faction combination is top and bottom mat. Not every combination is created equal. So they had like bid values where it's like, okay, cool, whoever takes this one that is clearly the best is going to take an 8-point penalty at the end of the game, you know, and this one will get a 7-point penalty, and this one will get a 3-point penalty, and then the one that they considered the worst had a 0, had no penalty, right?
That is interesting. So they acknowledge that there are
the game is not perfectly
flaws
balanced
in the game.
Yeah. And on top of that, there's actually certain combinations that are banned.
Really?
Because there's only like 2 or 3. It's like Rusvia Industrial and Crimea Patriotic or something like that. Because they're just too good. And more than that, more than being too good, they're kind of like almost solved. Where it's like if a skilled player plays this combination, they will end the game in 15 turns and will have won. And like you can do the same thing every time, basically.
Like that bad, huh?
Yeah, it's interesting.
That's kind of nuts.
And so in like actual competitive Scythe, the players will like bid, and so the penalties that you take for playing the more advantageous combination will be taken out of your like final score at the end of the game. But because this is just amateurs, they like the people running the tournament like set the penalties themselves.
Yeah.
Anyway, all of that to say, I was convinced I was going to get freaking Nordic because I hate Nordic and I think Nordic is terrible. But and I really wanted Polania because I think Polania is really good. But I was like, there's
Yeah.
no way I'm going to get Polania because in the first round I drafted last.
Yeah.
And even though I went last, I did indeed get Polania, and then I won the game. So
Heck yeah.
anyway, yeah, competitive Scythe was pretty fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the weather's been nice.
Bro, it's actually crazy. Like
I know the weather.
halfway through
Okay, you know
January,
what?
the snow
Not to
just
actually
vanished.
talk about the weather, but yeah,
It's been so nice.
I brought that up as a joke, but I mean, honestly, the weather has been kind of nice.
It really has. Uh, do you know what Hazbin Hotel is?
Yes, you and your lady friend were telling me about it.
Wait, where?
Yes.
That's awesome. So Hazbin Hotel came
Yeah.
out. Oh my gosh,
Didn't
I
it-
have $188 in Ballotro because I just doubled my money 4 times. I'm so good at this video game.
Wait, is that like real dollars?
No, it's like in game, but like
Oh.
it's in game dollars, but nothing costs more than like 5 or 10. So I basically have infinite money now.
Oh. Well, that's disappointing.
But yeah, Hazbin Hotel, very good, extraordinarily good. Okay, maybe not extraordinarily. It's pretty dang good.
It's like a solid 7 out of 10.
Wow, man, I'm kind of popping off over here. Yeah, I'd say it's a solid. Dude, this is, oh my gosh, I have so much money. Bro, why aren't I recording my gameplay footage? This is disgusting.
I mean, you should, because apparently mine just breaks all the time.
I really hope it doesn't break this time.
I guess something that did happen is I lost my hardcore Minecraft world that I've been
No.
working on for like a year.
No. Wow.
And that was very
wow.
sad.
That's super
Yeah.
sad.
It's fine though, you know, it's like if there's one thing I learned from getting over it with Bennett Foddy is that starting over can be a good thing. So since then I've lost 2 or 3 more hardcore worlds. But I've got another one that's got a pretty good thing going. So that's where I'm at with Minecraft.
Nice.
Yeah.
I haven't played in like a week now. I kind of got back into Factorio, but for like 2 weeks, my big thing was Minecraft again, which it hasn't been in ages. But I just made a nice little survival file, and it's been super fun.
Minecraft can definitely be one of those games where like you're super into it for like 2 weeks and then you forget about it for a year and then you're like, oh my gosh, I should play Minecraft. Then you play Minecraft again. That's how it can be with me, at least.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm a big.
Yeah. What is your, how far would you say you got in this hardcore world that you spent ages on?
I am almost done setting up villager trades.
Wow.
So, I know this is a weird way to play Minecraft, but I like to treat villagers ethically.
That's a perfectly sensible way to play Minecraft. It's not a way, I wouldn't say it's a way that the game encourages you to play, but it is definitely a viable way.
I don't know. I feel bad if I like imprison them, so I like to give them actual homes and food.
That's very sweet. You know Dan Olson, Folding Ideas?
Dan Olson from what ideas?
Folding Ideas is his YouTube channel.
I don't think so.
He has
It sounds vaguely familiar.
he has a
though.
pretty old video from like several years ago about like the thumbnail is like, oops, I did a colonialism in Minecraft. And it's a video about like how games like naturally encourage you to like
Be the worst person.
to be a bad person. Yeah. To like
Yeah.
exploit and be it was a very interesting video. It's like, hey, like be more mindful about like what your game is like inducing you to do.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's very
honestly,
interesting.
that's one thing from Undertale that kind of stuck with me. I was like, maybe I shouldn't like be a selfish, horrible person
Yeah.
in every video
Is
game
it
I
wrong
play.
to have a like
Should
unethical
I?
power fantasy?
Yeah, maybe I should act morally, even if it matters to literally nobody.
Mm-hmm. It's interesting because like it's video games are cool because video games let you art in itself like lets you see and observe and talk about things that you wouldn't be able to otherwise, that you wouldn't be able to experience
Yeah,
otherwise. And video games are special because you're the one directly doing it and experiencing it. So
right,
like
right.
there's totally there's a I think there's an argument for awful hyper violent escapism GTA stuff because it's like yeah there's no other way to experience that and it's
Sure.
whether or not you think it's moral like it is fake and it's like it's a way to experience and do those kinds of things in a safe way
Right.
whatever and but it's also interesting to think about it the other way where it's like I am going to exercise morality in a like this is a piece of art that allows you to experience being moral and being a good person like
Yeah.
I think there's
Where
value to that.
I can be a benefactor.
Yeah.
Because those villagers ain't gonna build themselves more houses. They're just gonna sit around and go, meh, and then like eat some carrots or whatever. I don't know what they do all day.
Yeah, you are their white savior. I mean, what?
What? Is it bad that I had the same thought but just didn't want to say it?
Oops, I did a colonialism in Minecraft.
Oops, Steve's burden.
Yeah. But anyway, Hazbin Hotel.
Yeah, I've heard of it.
Hazbin Hotel actually came out. I basically thought it would never happen, and you know what?
I thought it had already like come out though.
So
like,
in
they
like
had, like seasons.
no, well see what happened is in 2018.
Should never have to say that about a TV show. See what happened.
I want to say is the pilot was uploaded in 2019, but that would have been during my mission, and I feel like I was there when it came out. I gotta check when it came out now. When did the Hazbin Hotel pilot come out? 4 years ago. 2020? Did it come out in 2020?
Probably.
And no, it did come out on my mission. It came out October 28th, 2019. So, Hazbin Hotel, this 30-minute pilot that just some indie animators made together. It exploded. It's sitting at 96 million views right now. And it's a pilot for a TV show with the person who made it. She's like had these characters for ages and like made comics and stuff about them. And then they made this pilot. It's about it takes place in hell, and the main character is the daughter of Lucifer, who believes that souls can be redeemed because hell really sucks, and also because angels come down once a year and exterminate sinners because there's like an overpopulation problem. So she's like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna rehabilitate sinners and prove that there's good in everyone so that they can be redeemed and go to heaven and not have to die. And they made this 30-minute pilot. They introduced like 4 or 5 or 6 characters that the internet freaking lost their minds over.
like Charles.
No, freaking
Charlie.
Alistair, the radio demon, I feel like is the one who became like a Tumblr boy. Anyway, so I don't know how long it was after that pilot came out. Like I feel like probably within the year after that. A24, the like film studio, announced that they had like bought the rights and were actually developing it into a TV show. And everyone was like, wow. And then they never said anything ever again. And then like 2 years later, they were like, oh, here's a single still to like show that we're still alive and this is still happening. You know? So it took them ages.
In fact, given up.
And so yeah, it was always just going to come out sometime, right? And then like last year in the fall, they were like, oh, it's coming out in January. And it's on like Amazon Prime, and it's really cool. There's 6 episodes out so far. It started with 4. They released the first 4 episodes, and then a week later they released 2 more episodes, and so this week should be the last 2 episodes of like this first season. And they've announced that they're already working on a second season, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
And it's pretty fun. It's pretty good. I definitely would not say it's like the best thing ever made. It's got some flaws, but it's got a lot of
close to it.
It's got a lot of good stuff to it.
Yeah.
It's pretty good. The music, it's like a musical.
Wait, really?
Yeah, it's the voice actors that they got are all like in the pilot there were like 2 songs, and that they've kept that pattern where there's 2 songs in every episode, and all the voice actors are like Broadway singers and are very good vocalists. And yeah, not perfect. Not every song is a banger, but there's a couple songs that are major bangers.
Yeah.
And the story is really fun, and it's a lot of fun, and I'm super excited for the last 2 episodes.
Heck yeah.
It's just kind of surreal to like be actually watching it. I had this moment when I was watching like the 2nd or 3rd episode, and I was like, wait, I'm like actually watching Hazbin Hotel. Like it exists. Like what the freak? It's been like 4 years.
All right. So serious question though about Hazbin Hotel. Would you say it's better or worse than the Garfield cartoon?
I would say it's better. Which one? Which Garfield cartoon? The like weird CG,
the classic,
the CG one.
No. Like the 2D animated one.
I don't think I've ever seen that.
Yeah, you've never seen that?
I don't think so.
Okay, well, I guess you can't make an informed decision then, but
I would say that it is better, yes, than the Garfield show.
Okay, but like, why though? Justify your reasoning.
Because the animation is beautiful, the characters are pretty great, the music is really good. It's a very good show. The story is good.
Can you not say the same thing about the Garfield animated TV show?
You know what? You can. You got me there. It's almost as good as Garfield. I'll concede. It's almost as good.
I can accept that. It's not unconditional surrender like I wanted, but it's enough.
Anyway, what I was gonna say, I think what I was gonna say is that like, yeah, it's surreal to like actually be watching it and for it to be a real thing, because it's like, man, I can't even imagine. You come up with these characters, you come up with some OCs, and then like 10 years later they're on TV. Like,
yeah,
I can't imagine.
Can you imagine if your weird like robot kissing scene came out on TV?
I don't know what robot kissing scene you're talking about, Ryan. I thought
remember for that group that you would...
I thought Ryan. I thought
yes,
we had an understanding that the robot kissing scene.
No, Jason, listen. I paid good money for you to write that.
Oh my gosh. Oh. Man. Yeah, Hazbin Hotel. Been listening to the soundtrack a lot.
It's just full of a bunch of has-beens.
It's got some bangers.
Is that the joke of the name of the hotel?
Yes.
That they're like a bunch of has-beens?
I guess. I'm actually not. I think the joke is that the hotel itself sucks and isn't good at what it does. Because the main character, Charlie, she's like, I'm going to rehabilitate sinners at my happy hotel. And it's like, okay, that's fun. And then the radio demon, Alistair, is like, I'm going to help you. And then he changes the name to Hazbin Hotel. So I guess he thinks that it's a waste of time or something. I don't really know.
Because like that's the only thing I can think of when I hear the name. I'm like, oh, it's like they're a bunch of has-beens.
Oh yeah, Ryan, that's the only thing you can think of. Wow, real creative.
Okay, that and also the $50,000 music video. But other than that, that's about it.
Oh man, dude, what is it, like Verbalese? Is that what the guy's name is? He did.
I think so.
He did a lot for Hazbin Hotel, for Hazbin's like. For Hazbin
honestly,
Hotel awareness. I feel like he did a great service.
The publicity sucked for him, but it was great for Hazbin Hotel.
Oh my gosh. Oh man. Yeah. Oh, so anyway, something else I was gonna say is that you mentioned think you thought that there was already like a season or something. So to make it even more confusing, right after the rights to Hazbin Hotel were acquired and like it was in production, the people who made the pilot were like, oh, well, I don't totally know the story, so I could be wrong in how this happened. But my understanding is they were like, wait, we still want to make something. And so they made a spin-off show to a show that didn't exist called Hell of a Boss. And so that's a show that is, they're about to finish the second season. Hell of a Boss has just been like, they've just been putting out episodes over the last couple of years since then. So it was kind of interesting because like basically all these people loved the pilot, and then things went radio silent, and so all the Hazbin Hotel fans turned into Hell of a Boss fans. And there's kind of like at least from like my outside observance of like the Reddit community, there's a lot of people who like a lot of Hell of a Boss fans that don't like Hazbin Hotel, and there's I think a lot of people that go the other way. Like it is very interesting.
Yeah, that's weird. I would have thought it was the opposite.
Yeah, it's very interesting. Interesting little community dynamic.
Huh.
There's posts that are like, oh my gosh, I wish they would just like go back to working on Hell of a Boss. Like yeah, it's interesting.
I mean, why not work on both? It can't be that hard to produce an animated TV show. That was a joke, by the way.
I mean, as far as I understand, they're two entirely different studios. So I think that, like, I'm pretty sure
so it's not the same people.
They're going, like, yeah. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of like creative consultation.
Yeah.
On Hazbin Hotel. Yeah, it's a very interesting situation. I can't say I've ever seen an indie show get. I can't say I've ever seen a spin-off of a show come out before the show did, and all of this within like an indie show. Yeah, it's really interesting. They're both very good, and I highly recommend them. That is kind of bizarre. There's also, at least so far, like zero continuity between the two. Like they both take place in hell, but it's just interesting.
But not the same hell.
They take place in different circles of hell, technically.
Oh.
Hazbin Hotel takes place in the Pride Circle. And Hell of a Boss takes place mostly in.
I don't know anything. I don't know anything about Hazbin Hotel, except that it's been said. I saw this meme where it was like, what do you think they were trying to say by making a show set in hell where most of the characters are like gay and stuff, but there's no pedophiles or anything? Is that why it's set in the Pride Circle of hell?
So, the way that hell works in this canon is there's the 7 layers of hell, right?
Yeah.
And there in hell there are dead sinners, and there's also just like hellborns. There's like demons and imps and stuff who have always lived in hell. They're born and raised in hell, right? And sinners are restricted to pride, I think. Like dead souls can only live in pride. Like they can't go to other rings. The rings are basically like cities. They can't go anywhere else. And also, pride is the only ring where the extermination happens, where like once a year angels come down and slaughter everybody.
Wait. So hang on. So I'm gonna be honest, I'm confused. So everybody that was ever human only goes to Pride?
Yeah. I mean, only the bad people.
But okay, then what's the point of the other circles?
Because that's just where the imps and the demons live, and they get up to shenanigans, and that's why they made a different TV show about them.
You know what? That's fair. I hadn't thought of that.
And so I've actually seen theories that are like, oh, well, like where's Hitler? And it's like, well, he's probably dead, either from angel exterminations or like sinful Jews that were like down there like, let's kill this guy, we hate him. Like, the really bad people are probably all dead, you know?
Yeah, because they kind of got revenge killed.
Yeah.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
It's some interesting like lore and stuff. Yeah. Hazbin Hotel's good. I'm excited for more episodes.
Yeah. but not hell of a boss because you've chosen your circle.
No, Hell of a Boss is also very good. I enjoy both.
You can't, but Jason, you can't. It's been decreed by the councils that you can't.
The court of popular opinion.
Yes, which is the court that really only matters.
Oh my gosh!
Especially when you have a podcast.
Okay, sorry to change the subject, but you know Celeste, the wonderful acclaimed video game Celeste.
I do not.
Yes, you do. Don't lie. So,
No, I'm totally messing with you.
you know Mr. Oshiro? Like, you know how my
Yes.
my profile picture on Discord for like a long time was Mr. Oshiro?
I was sad when it wasn't.
Yeah.
And I wanted to ask you about that.
Well, I changed it to one of my favorite panels from all of Cyclonials because it's a little reminder to me to freaking finish that freaking video essay.
Will you change it to Mr. Oshiro after?
Probably not. I think I'm out of my Oshiro era.
No, but Jason.
Anyway, there's a good friend of mine.
What about the fans?
Anyway, there's a good friend of mine who messaged me. He messaged me today, and I'm just gonna read you this like back and forth. He said, "Yo, I started playing Celeste yesterday, and then suddenly there was your old profile picture, so that was fun." And then I was like, "Our boy, Mr. Oshiro, love that guy." And he said, "A homie." And then 3 hours later, just now, he said, "It has now occurred to me that he may not be such a homie after all."
I don't care who you are. That's fun.
If you don't know what we're talking about, dear listener, you should play Celeste. It's one of the greatest games of all time. But anyway, Mr. Oshiro is at first a nice guy, and then he's kind of like a boss because he's not a nice guy.
He was always kind of a douchebag, though.
Yeah, he was kind of a jerk. But he was like a sympathetic because he like clearly had like anxiety or something. It was like super. But then also like his anxiety manifested in like death bubbles that tried to kill you. And then he turned into a big ghost.
You figure out how to fold the towels. I was like, well, you know, I'm just a girl.
Just a girl in a world.
I'm just a girl. I don't know how the rest of that song goes, but do you know what I'm talking about?
I've definitely heard that song. It's like a TikTok sound.
No, it's from like the 80s.
It doesn't mean it can't be a TikTok sound.
Yes, it does. Don't ruin this for me, please. I'm joking. You can ruin it for me.
Bro, you know Palworld?
Yes. The Pokemon clone.
Yeah, the Pokemon with guns or Arc with Pokemon.
Yeah.
The current viral meme game. Did you know that it's free on Game Pass?
Wait, really?
Did you know
Xbox Game Pass?
Yeah, on Xbox and PC Game Pass. And did you also know?
I have that.
Did you also know that? I don't have Game Pass, but did you know that you can get a 14-day free trial of Game Pass for $1?
No, I did not.
Which sounds like it sounds to me like 10 days longer than I would ever spend playing Palworld, but I'm really tempted to get a Game Pass demo, whatever, like free trial, and play Palworld for like a week.
I mean, why not? Commit mass murder.
Yeah, so if you want to play Palworld with me sometime this week, that might be something that I'm doing.
I mean, I'd be down.
I don't know if there's Xbox and PC crossplay. I have to look that up.
I still mooch off of an old friend of mine's Xbox Live account. So
Palworld supports crossplay between Xbox Series XIS. What the frick does that mean? And PC via Windows.
Yeah, what's XIS?
I don't know. They made the Xbox, then they made the Xbox 360, and then I can't talk. And then they made the Xbox One, and then everything went downhill from
Which isn't the first Xbox, it's like the third.
Okay, yeah, maybe it went downhill with that. Like at least PlayStation just gives them numbers, and Nintendo gives them cute different names.
4, 5.
But Xbox is just like good freaking luck figuring out like which one came when.
Xbox number 360, Xbox number 1.
Like, I feel like it made sense up to Xbox One. Like, I was like, okay, cool. Xbox 360, Xbox One, I can get that. Because everybody was naming things
Jeff
one.
Bezos.
And now it's like Xbox Series X And now I just read the words Xbox Series XIS, so I don't freaking know what that means.
I have no idea. Oh wait, is it maybe X/S?
Maybe it's probably. Is there an Xbox Series S?
I think there is an Xbox S.
What the frick does that even mean?
It's okay, so it's like the Xbox X, but it's the Xbox S.
Okay.
Because it comes before in the alphabet, so that's why it's the one that comes after the Xbox X.
That makes sense because they went from 360 to 1, and now they're going X to S. It makes total sense. Yeah. Okay. Does that mean the next two Xboxes are going to go like in reverse rainbow order? Like they're going to have Xbox Blue and then Xbox Red?
No, but Xbox is green.
Oh, you're right. Anyway.
Yeah. So they'd have to do something like, I don't know.
Xbox Ultraviolet.
Global conflicts backwards.
Xbox Microwave.
Start with
Xbox Infrared. Xbox AM. Xbox FM.
Xbox UV.
Xbox Kilohertz. Xbox Gigahertz. Anyway, yeah, I feel like I had to like, I don't know. I don't know. Palworld is blowing up, so definitely part of it is peer pressure. Because I was like, I kind of want to get this game and play it and try it. And so I had to like watch some YouTube videos to convince myself that it kind of looks like trash. And I still want to try it, but I have successfully convinced myself like not to drop $30 on it. Because I genuinely doubt it has that much like depth or replayability. It's it's got the funny shoot Pikachu with a gun and cook him up and eat him, but I don't know if it has much more to it than that, honestly.
Shove your friend in a Pokeball.
Breed other people. Build a house.
It's got the haha fun shock value, but how far is that gonna actually get?
I've also watched some. I've watched like some people play it, and it's like, okay, cool. It takes like freaking 8 hours to get the first gun, which is like, what are you doing, Pokemon with guns? That's the whole point. Like,
what the heck?
You know. And so it's like, I don't know if I want to play a survival game where you hit trees for the 500th time, for 5 hours. Anyway, all I'm saying is we should like play Palworld. We should see if Matt we get Matt on it and just play Palworld for like a night sometime.
Yeah, I'd be down.
I think it'd be
he has an Xbox too, so he has the goods.
Podcast listeners, yes, indeed, we did just confirm the existence of another character. Named character.
Oops! Spoiler alert.
Yeah. Anyway, I gotta freaking work on this video essay that I refuse to work on. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, you do. I need to finish my holotypical Klupinen video.
Yeah, where are you at on that? Or what?
The same place I was at like 4 months ago.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
just like initial research.
So I started putting together slides and writing a script and stuff for it. But I just haven't really done anything with it.
Yo, speaking
like what I have is good.
Yeah.
But
speaking of slides, I have the utmost respect. I totally consider a literal slideshow like a very respectable way to make a video. And I'm even more convinced. I feel like I was already pretty convinced of that, but I'm even more convinced now because I discovered a channel over the last couple of weeks. What the frick is it called? It's a really weird name. It's like your Claude Sire's girlfriend or something. It's this guy
like Quagsire the Pokemon.
Yeah, it's this guy. So he makes videos about the competitive Pokemon scene. They're all super short. They're like 2 or 3 minutes. It's Electric Wind Girlfriend. They're like all of his videos are like 2 or 3 minutes long, and it's just the video itself is literally a PowerPoint. And he just talks about like a specific Pokemon and like its place in the like competitive meta, and like just talks for like 2 minutes about it, and they're like actually really interesting, and it looks like they take very little effort to make. So I think it's a great, honestly, it's a really great format.
I was very hesitant about like the slideshow thing because I was like, oh, it's like so low effort, it's not good. But like now that I've now once I started doing it, I was like, oh wait, it's like totally legitimate.
Yeah,
Really good.
and it like it's it's a brand. Like for this guy, it's an instantly recognizable brand that like you can just I can
You
see
see a
it
PowerPoint,
pops
you
up in my
know it's
feed
him.
and it's just a blank white background with a picture of a Diglett and it says Diglett is top tier and I'm like, great, Electric Wind Girlfriend is uploaded again. Like
Yeah.
yeah, it's brilliant. I think maybe the best thing you can do if you want to be a creator online is to find your formula and find your brand and have it be as low effort as possible, but still work really well. Like
Oh yeah.
I have a friend, I have a coworker who has this TikTok account that he makes he has a handful of Patreons, so like he's making money off of it. And but it's literally how do you describe his content? It's like a spinner. He'll like make D&D. He'll just like generate D&D characters and then like
Yeah.
do little like combats with them and like super simple stuff. And he just determines everything with like a spinner on screen. It's like, okay, cool. I'm gonna randomly generate a character. Let's spin. Okay, that's its class. Spin. That's its race. Okay, boop, like stuff like that. And then he just does everything through these spinners. And so he just does that with an app on his phone that he just like screen records,
Yeah.
and then he just slaps text over it. And it's such a simple. It's exactly like this. It's such a simple. To me, it looks pretty low effort thing that is recognizable, becomes a brand, is easy to pump out, and is still good content. Like it's yeah.
Still worthwhile.
I should be doing that instead of trying to write a massive video essay that I'll never finish, you know?
I think you would regret it if you did, though.
But if I could just pump out like 100 2-minute videos.
That's right. Honestly, what it's about is it's just about, milking content.
I also feel like it would help with like motivation, you know? Because like I'm working on this one big
Sure,
thing
to like
and it
actually
takes
get something out there.
yeah, it takes forever, and eventually it'll get out, and I guarantee the response will not be like equitable to the amount of effort that it took. But this, it's like,
Yeah.
oh, I took
But
me
if
half
you
an
if
hour
you
to
got
make
some
this.
exposure,
Yeah. Yeah. Can I?
then
Hey,
people will be like, "Oh man,
hey
I
Ryan.
love this silly putty content that this guy named Jason's been making." And then you come out with a video essay, and they'll be like, "What the freak is this? This isn't what I subscribed for. This isn't what I want." And then you'll be stuck being a silly putty content creator for the rest of your life.
Honestly, I mean, yeah, a bunch of people, the like 100 people who subscribe to me for my music, I'm sure already have been very confused as I've been uploading episodes of this podcast. But then I'm just
Yeah.
gonna dump a giant video that has nothing to do with anything I've ever made before. Yeah, it's
Yeah. I mean, I know as one of your subscribers, I myself will be very confused.